Please press the subscribe button, please, yes.
Today I'm going to teach you how to play Valorant. We are going to start right from the basic things. You know nothing about the game. Don't worry, I'll tell you how the game works. Now, before this video, I assume that you have visited the Valorant website, you have created an account, downloaded the game, opened it up and signed in. You should see this kind of window and we are just gonna press play. The first thing that every player is going to do is go to the range, and we go there as well. Now you can hear the brimstone telling you what to do, and on the left there's also a list of the things that you have to do. You can use those when you go through this by yourself, but now we are going to go through this together, and I'll show you some things that this tutorial doesn't. Let's get going from how to move in this game. I want that you take your left hand and put it in the keyboard in a specific way. Your ring finger should be on A, your middle finger should be on W and S, and your index finger should be on D. Now if you try pressing A and D, you'll notice that you will be moving side to side. And if you press W and S, you'll notice that you will be moving back and forward. So by pressing the buttons you can move in the map. So you can try to imagine that these are the arrow keys. W is forward, A is left, D is right, and S is backwards. Try to forget the letters and imagine them as arrow keys. This is very useful information to remember because many PC games use these same buttons as their movement keys. Now in addition, I want that you put your little finger to the shift button, left shift button, and your thumb to the space button. So this is the basic position where your hands should always go by default. Now when you are moving in the map, you can hear your own steps, and the enemy can too. So let's do a little practice right away. Try pressing shift with your little finger at the same time when you're moving. So in addition pressing the movement keys, keep the shift pressed down. And you'll notice there's no steps anymore. Shift up. Shift down. So there's the two basic movement styles you are gonna be using in the game. Making noise and running, or silently walking with the shift. So your left hand will be on the keyboard. Now I want you to take your right hand, grab the mouse and try moving it. If you move your mouse to the right, you'll look at the right. If you move your mouse to the left, you'll look at the left, and same to the up and down. So with the right arm and the mouse, you are supposed to look around in the world and move the crosshair that's in the middle. Now let's do what the tips say and press the space bar. And that's how we jump. If we walk forwards and then press space, we'll jump on top of this thing. Now if you jump first and then press W, you'll notice that we are going nowhere. So you should be pressing W first and then space. Your little finger should be resting on the shift button right now. And we remember that without the shift button you'll run, and with the shift button you'll walk. But now I want you to move your little finger one button down to the control button. When you press control, you'll notice that you're crouched. So all the other fingers are still in the same position, ring finger on A, middle finger on W and S, index finger on the D, and thumb on the space button. But your little finger will now be pressing Control. And with the Control and by crouching we can go under tight spaces. Now when we'll pick up this gun,
shoot that flying target for me.
You can see that around the crosshair there's 4 little dots that move. This default crosshair is great because it tells you how big is your crosshair when you are moving. So you will see it'll get bigger when I move faster. So when I'm running it's the biggest, when shifting a little bit smaller, and standing still smaller. And in addition, if you crouch, it'll still get smaller. So the crosshair will be telling you how accurate your gun will be. Let's go to how to fire your gun. And like the tips suggest, it's the left mouse button. So by clicking the left mouse, you can shoot with your gun. And the gun will be shooting right where the crosshair is. Now if I'm crouching and shooting very fast, you'll see a little stack. If I'm standing and shooting very fast, there's a little bigger stack. If I'm shifting and shooting, there's even bigger stack. And if I'm running and gunning, there will be the biggest stack. You'll also notice that when I'm shooting, the little dots in the crosshair will be moving. If I'm shooting very fast, you'll notice that the crosshair will be quite big. So the faster you shoot, the more inaccurate you will be. Now let's talk about the elements on the bottom of the screen. Let's focus on the big number. You can see when I'm shooting, the number is decreasing. It'll tell you how much bullets you have left in your gun's magazine. When it hits 0, it'll reload automatically, and your magazine will be full again. On the right there's also the tinier number. It'll tell you how much bullets you have left overall. In game the number is going to decrease, but we are in the tutorial, so it'll stay on the 36. In the middle you can see your abilities, but they are now grey because I don't have any. So let's go to the left side, where we can see the number 43. That's how much health we have right now. Now how do you even recognize the enemy? Well, every enemy has the red halo around their bodies. Now try to concentrate on my health when the enemy is shooting me. I took some damage, and the health goes down, so basically the left number tells you how much health you have left. Max health is 100, and with the shields it might be 125 and 150. Now let's concentrate on the middle of the screen and see what happens when the enemy hits us. You can see on the right side a red arrow appears. Now the enemy is behind us and the arrow will be under the crosshair. And now on the left side, and now on top of the crosshair. So in addition you losing health, the game will tell you with the red arrow where you are shot from. Another way to know where the gunfire is coming from is to look at the white lines. The enemy is shooting us from behind and you can see the white lines going around my head. Also if the lines are going sideways, you know that the enemy is on your side. Now when you are shooting back at the enemy, you have to concentrate where you are shooting them. Hitting the head will obviously make the most amount of damage. Next will be the middle body, and least the arms and the legs. So when you are trying to shoot the enemy, you should be aiming at their neck, between their head and torso. That's how you'll most likely make the most amount of damage. Again, if you are running and gunning, the bullets go wherever they want. But when I stand still, the bullets go right where I want them to. So you should be always thinking about the movement when you are trying to shoot somebody. Now in the game when you are shooting the enemy, pay attention how many bullets you have left. I have 9 bullets left, 12 is the maximum, so I want to reload my gun. You can reload your gun by pressing the R button. And I want that you use your index finger when pressing the R button. So from the D button you will be moving your index finger to the R button, press the R button and instantly move the finger back to D button. So it's the index finger's job to reload the gun. When you're shooting, you quickly move to the R button, press it and go back to the D button. Now when you are in the game and your team kills enemies, or the enemy kills your teammates, they will be dropping their guns. And if you want the gun, you can pick it up by pressing F. And again, I want that you use your index finger, move it from the D to the F, press F and move back to the D. A second ago I got my pistol on and now I have this machine gun. And I can tell because if I press mouse 1, it'll keep shooting rapidly. Compared to the pistol, if I press only once, it'll shoot only once. And I'll have to keep pressing to shoot rapidly. Of course I can also tap the mouse button and shoot only in small bursts instead of rapid fire. Well, how do you switch your weapons? There's actually 2 ways, but I recommend that you start by rolling your mouse wheel. And just like that, when you roll your mouse wheel, it will change your weapons. You can see from the right side which weapons do you have and which is on right now. So you'll notice I have a knife in hand, then I have pistol and then a machine gun. The second way of changing your weapon is by clicking the number buttons. So number 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So by pressing the number buttons you can select which weapon is in your hand. But if you are playing first-person shooters the first time, I can imagine that you are already having trouble with the movement buttons, so I suggest that you use your mouse wheel. Now when you are using and trying out different guns in the game, you'll notice that some weapons have a second function in the right mouse button. In this machine gun I have in my hand, the second function is a sight. So if you press mouse 2 or the right mouse button in this gun, it'll bring up the sight. And when you press it again, it'll put it away. But if you take this pistol, we can notice that the second function is actually a secondary fire option. It'll in fact shoot 3 bullets at the same time. So with the left mouse it'll single fire, and with the right mouse it'll triple fire. But with most of the guns, the usually secondary function is the sight. And now I'm gonna talk a bit about the sight. When you'll use the sight, you will notice that it'll zoom the whole view. These holographic edges will also come up to better your aim. And the crosshair will stay in the middle. You can also see that the crosshair gets a little bit smaller when you zoom in. Now let's shoot this thing and let's go forward.
Right, Agent.
Now when you are using the sight, remember that you see less than you normally do. That's why I don't recommend using the sight when you are in close distances. For example, that thing I just shot, or this box, or this corner. When the enemy is close and you clearly see it, you don't need the sight. In the other hand, when the enemy is far away, you really should use your sight. Then it's way easier to hit the enemy. And now we try to remember which body parts deal the most damage. Head and torso. So we will be aiming in the neck and shoot. And the enemy dies. Let's search for the next enemy. And there he is. We can see a little bit red right there. He's behind the wall, but let's try to aim right there. Let's shoot short bursts and it's dead. And again, let's go slowly. Search for the next enemy. There he is. Let's aim at the neck and it's dead. Let's go forwards. In the meantime, let's reload the gun by pressing the R button and let's keep going. This part of the tutorial is very misleading, because in the game you can actually see your own teammates like this, through the walls with the greenish color. Here you can see when I move around, he stays in place. In this tutorial, that's the enemy. And that's the misleading part. In the game you can't see the enemy like this. Now you'll notice when I walk and make some noise, he turns around. If I walk, he turns to me. That's because the enemy can hear us, and because I'm not pressing the shift down, I'll make loud stepping noises. Now I'll press the shift button and walk slowly behind the corner. You can see, he doesn't hear me. I keep pressing the shift down and he can't hear me even when I'm behind him. And as you can see, he isn't shooting me because he don't know I'm here. He can only see forwards, as everybody does, and he hasn't turned to me. But if I lift the shift up and start to walk, he will instantly turn to me. And that's only because he heard me. So let's keep pressing the shift, walk to him with the movement buttons, aim at the head, and shoot.
Job.
And that's how you
some
do
different
it.
guns on these targets.
Now when you go into the game, the first thing that everybody does is press B and open the armory. Let's first go through what do we see in this window. In the left we can see the big number. Now because we are in the tutorial it'll show this absolute number, but in the game you'll have something between 0 and 9,000. So that's the amount you can use to buy guns, shields or abilities. Under the big number there's a smaller number that will tell you how much money you at least have in the next round. Because for example, if you kill some guys during the round, you'll get a bonus 300 every time. And under those numbers you can see which weapons you have right now and which shield you have. I have none at the moment. As you saw a moment ago, I showed you that I have 3 weapons. Knife, a pistol and a big gun. In armory you don't see the knife because everybody has it always. On the left, in the sidearms section, are all the pistols you can choose. And all these other weapons are the big gun, and you can have only one of those in your hand. In addition, on the right side, there's the shields, so you'll get 25 or 50 points of more health. And down here are the abilities that your character has. Every character has his own abilities, but you can buy them here. Now at the moment I have in my hand a pistol named Classic, and a machine gun named Phantom. And because I have used both of these guns, I can't sell them anymore. I'll just throw them away with the right mouse button to show you how much these cost. Firstly, you'll notice that the Classic is free. So you can always buy the Classic and everybody should have at least the Classic in hand. But if you want, you can buy another pistol that will automatically replace the Classic. Now if you don't have money, all of these weapons will be grayed out and you cannot pick them. And in my opinion, you should always buy shields first and then a weapon. Because if you don't, you'll die more easily, and if you spend a lot of money in your gun and die instantly, you'll lose all of that money. So maybe buy some shields and then buy the gun. From these guns, the most popular are Phantom and Vandal because they are so good. But if you are short on money, Spectre is also a good choice. It's pretty rare to see people using Stinger or Bulldog. But if you wanna camp behind the corners and wait for people to come around the corner and surprise them, then the shotgun is the best choice because it makes a lot of damage, but only in a short distances. But now I would like you to pick the Vandal to test your sensitivity. So simply just hover your mouse over the weapon and press mouse 1. And then press B to get away from the armory. Now, you should pick yourself a good sensitivity. Well, what is sensitivity? Well, basically, it's how much your crosshair moves in the game relative to the movement you do with your mouse. Well, I do have 2 tricks you can use when you are trying to find the perfect sensitivity. Of course, you don't have to listen to me. You can just start shooting and then change the sensitivity and find what fits yourself. But I'm going to tell you the tricks anyway. So, let's begin. Put your mouse in the mousepad in the usual position, in the normal position where you always put the mouse. Now, move your mouse to the left and try to look behind you without going over the edge of the mousepad. And now to the other side. Move to the right all the way behind you without going over the edge of your mousepad. If you had to go over the edge of your mousepad, you have to decrease the sensitivity. Because it's not fun when you're trying to aim at the enemy kills you because you can shoot him because you run out of mousepad. Now the second trick you can try is by going somewhere in here and then aiming at the first target. Then concentrate to the left target, close your eyes and try to aim to the left target without looking. And then open your eyes and look where you landed. Okay, I went over, so I have to decrease my sensitivity. Now I'm at 0.6, so let's try again. I close my eyes, try to aim. Okay, I aimed a little bit short, so I'll have to increase my sensitivity a little. But because I played a while, I know my sensitivity should be 0.66. And with these two buttons, I really can't go into 6.6. So I'll have to press the escape, then go into general, and from there just type in the 6.6. Close settings, and let's try again. So I'm closing my eyes, aiming, and spot on. Of course this is not a surprise because I always use this sensitivity. But this is a good trick you can use when trying to find your sensitivity. Do it a couple of times. If you aim short, increase the sensitivity. If you aim too far, decrease the sensitivity. And also remember the first trick so you don't run out of mousepad. But now let's go forwards. This is a shooting test. You will have to kill as many bots as you can before the time runs out. Now I highly recommend that you try shooting only heads and not spraying or keeping the mouse button down, because this kill test will determine which people are against you in the servers. If you try to kill as many bots as you can with the spray and everything, you will probably be put to play against better players than you are. But if you concentrate and try shoot only the heads, you will most likely be placed in a game with people which have the same skill level you have. Now if you are new with the FPS genre and haven't played any of these shooting games with the PC before, you will probably get under 9 kills. But that's totally fine. Don't be hard on yourself. Don't read this. It is just perfect for your gaming experience. On the other hand, if you come from the shooting game genres like CSGO, you will probably get around 20 kills and be placed with pretty good players right from the first round. But all in all, try to aim and shoot the heads. So when you are done with the tutorial, you will find yourself in this main menu. The background sometimes changes, but don't worry about it. If there's a play button, click it. Now it's good to remember that this game is an online experience. You will always be playing with other people. And that means you have to be nice and not an asshole. And in this window, if you don't want that your party hears everything you say all the time, press push to talk. And remember the button if you have to say something to your team. And now we are finally in this window where you can select your game mode. First we have unrated, that's the basic game mode. I recommend that you start with the unrated. Then we have the competitive, where you should go after you know how to play the game. Spike Rush is way shorter game, there's random guns and some abilities, and it's quite fun. Then we have Deathmatch, which says that it's good for practice. I disagree. In my opinion, Spike Rush is way better for that, because in Deathmatch there's no teams, everybody try to kill everyone, and you'll die instantly most of the time when you wake up. Then there's usually 1 or 2 extra game modes, but I don't go in those, they change all the time. When you have chosen your game mode, you just press start, and it will start to search for the game. And when it finds one, it'll put you into it. And when you are in the game, the first window you'll see is this. Character selection window. In this window you can choose which character you are going to play in the game. Simply click the character you want, for example Sage is pretty easy for the beginners, and then press lock in. On the left there's always your own team. There should be 5 guys, there's always 5 versus 5, but now I'm going into custom game with only 1 guy, so that's why there's only 2 of us. You can see which characters the other team members are considering, and once they have locked in, the timer will stop and the game will begin. In this opening window you should see if you're attacking or defending. It's always on top of the list of your team members. Also, as you can see, there's the map in the middle. Now we are in a map named Ascent, but I will not go into map specifics, you will have to play the game to learn them yourself. I'll just explain the basic idea. Firstly, if I look at my team member, I can see that he has this greenish tint on himself. That means he's on my side. Also we can see that there's new stuff on the window. We already know what's in the bottom, there's the bullets, abilities and health. But in the top on the left side there's our team. It's always your team on the left side with the green background. And if you see the character icons over there, you know they are alive. If they die, they disappear. Now a little bit to the right from the green area you can see the number 0. It tells how many rounds you have won in the game. In this game there's maximum of 25 rounds. And it's pretty uncommon because you only need 13 round wins to win the game. So if you won a round, the number will increase. If you lose a round, the other team's number, which is in the right side, will go up. So as you can already guess, on the right side with the red background you can see the enemy team members. If there's no icons, it means everybody's dead. If there's 3 icons, it means that there's still 3 people trying to kill you in the map. Now in the middle you can find the timer. It tells you how much time you have left before the round starts, and also it'll tell when the round will end. Now let's go to the left corner where you can find the minimap. As you can see, when you move, the map also moves. And it'll show you where you can go in the map. Now as you probably already saw, on the ground there's this triangular device. It's the spike, or the bomb. Well, how can you know if you have one? Well, it shows on the right side. There's the spike and the number 4. If you press the number button 4, it'll bring up the spike. Now even though it goes into the right side on top of the gun selection, you actually cannot use the mouse wheel to select the bomb. You will have to boost the number button 4. Then if you have the spike in your hand and you wanna give it to your teammates, you'll have to press G. So again, move your index finger to the G, press the G and move back to the D. The teammate throw it into the ground and you can pick it up by walking into it. Now the round is starting and we will remember that the first thing everybody does is press B. And the armory will show up. Now we can see that every one of these guns is grey because we don't have enough money. And as you may remember, I recommended that you buy the shield first. And now we'll see that we don't have any money for the pistols either. But we still have money for one ability, so let's buy one. But now I want you to think forward a little bit. It'll show you that you will have $1,900 in the next round. Well, what can you buy with that? You can buy Spectre of course, but if you want shield, you'll notice that there's not enough money. You need at least 2,000 to buy them both. So maybe we should save some money and sell this ability. And we can do that by pressing right mouse button. Now it'll show that we will have next round 2,300, which is plenty enough for Spectre and Light Shield. So in this round we only bought one shield. Let's press B and let's get going. When you look at the map, you can see those green lines which block the way. They are these force fields. You cannot go through them and you can't hear any sounds behind them before the timer goes to 0. So let's wait for the timer. And as we saw, the blue went away and now we can go forward. And because we are the attacking team, the objective to us is to go to the site and plant the bomb. And this means we have to look at the map, look for the yellow area because that's the site. There's the B, so that's the B site. So let's go there, right now. And before the round timer ends, we have to plant the bomb by pressing 4. And the character will plant the spike.
10 seconds left.
Like this, and the spike is planted. When the spike is planted, the objective is to stop the defending team from defusing it. Maybe go hide, look at the ways the defending team could come from, be ready for gunfights. And now it's beeping very fast, there's no time to defuse it anymore. Well, the bomb is gonna explode, I don't have time to go away, so I'll die with it. And that's how attackers win a round. The spike or the bomb exploded and we got 1 round point. So now we only need 12 more to win the game. Now I wanna show you how you can see your teammates through the walls. So in addition to the green tint the character has, you can see them through the walls. And you can see them always, wherever they are on the map. Now we are in a situation that there's one guy left in the enemy team. We have the bomb, we have to go plant, but the enemy can be anywhere. So I'll be very careful when going around this corner. Unlike my own team, I don't see the enemy through the walls. And there he is. I know he's the enemy because he's red and probably also shooting me. So let's aim to the neck and kill him. And as you can see, we won our second round. So the attacking team also wins a round if they kill every defending player. So there's 2 ways to win a round with attacking team. Either you go plant the bomb and the bomb explodes, or you kill the whole defending team. Now as you can see from the minimap, I'm on the A site. And now I'm also on the defending team. So previously I was attacking, now I'm defending. As a defender, you will always have access to the sites before the game starts. And the objective is to stop the attacking team from planting the bomb in your site. And again, the site is the yellow area on the map. Now the timer runs out, the force wheels goes away, and we will start to push. Let's see if we can find some enemies. And there he is. Let's aim for the neck, and he's dead. So like with the attacking team, defending team also wins a round if they kill all the enemy players before the spike is planted. But what if the spike is planted? What then? Well, let's see. Now you'll notice that the timer will turn into the red triangle. That means the bomb has been planted. And from the beeping sound you can hear that it's on the A site. Now there's still one enemy player left, he just planted the bomb, so he's around here somewhere. And there he is, shooting me. Let's kill him. And the game hasn't stopped. That's because killing is not enough, we have to also defuse the spike. So let's get next to the spike, press 4 and hope that we made it. Oh, and we just did. After the spike is defused, the defending team will win the round. So there's two ways of winning rounds with defending team. Either you kill everybody on the enemy team before they plant, or you defuse the bomb. And actually you can defuse the bomb before killing every player on the enemy team. But then there's a risk that the enemy player is behind the corner, and when he hears that you are starting to defuse, he comes around, shoots at you and kills you. So you'll have to be a bit tactical in this. Now for the last thing, I'll show you how to use the abilities. I assume that you are still keeping your left hand in the right position, because I'm going to tell you which fingers to use when using different abilities. So every character has 4 abilities, and every character the abilities are different, they look different, they work different, but now I'm going to only tell you the basics. You can find character specific videos in the description once I have done them. Firstly, we have the C button. You should be using your index finger for this. So move your index finger down 1 button to the C and press the C button. Next ability works with Q. So you will be moving your ring finger 1 button up from the A to the Q. The third ability works with E, and you will be also pressing it with your index finger. So move your index finger 1 button up. Now you probably noticed that the fourth ability is grayed out and you can't buy it from the armory. When we look closely, we can see there's these squares, and only some of them are green. So the fourth ability is actually the ultimate, the best ability the character has. And you can use it only after you got all of those squares green. Well, how do you turn them green? Well, for example, if you run around you get one, or if you kill people you get one, or if you go in the map and find this kind of alt orb and hold F. Now everything is green and I can use the fourth ability. And again you use your index finger to go to the X button. And we have the fourth ability in our hands. Now using the abilities is a bit different from character to character, but the most common thing is to use the mouse 1 button to use or throw the thing. No, just go! Put Valorant on and go play! I don't think that I can give you any more basic tips, and if I do you cannot process it because you haven't played the game. So go play Valorant, and remember, you only get better if you play. You will get used to the maps only if you play the maps, and you will get used to the characters only if you play the characters. So what are you waiting for? Go play the game! In the next episode of this video series I will be talking about unrated gaming and a little bit more advanced things. So when you are familiar with the game and start to use the abilities a bit more, then you should watch the next episode. But now, I hope you have a good time. I'll see you in the next video.
I am Badis. Badis is I. Yes, yes, yes. Absolutical truth. I am Badis. Badis is I. It is the truth. I really am Badis.